So our theme for this month is Igniting Potentials of African Startups. We have a lot to talk about, and we have very great speakers who are going to guide us through the training. And I believe that we'll not leave here the same, especially for any of us who has, this passion about starting your own business and establishing it, especially in Africa. I know that we have the best trainers for today's session. And we're going to begin with Lemuel Yole-Odior. I hope I pronounced the name well. I just hope maybe you correct me, of course, if I didn't pronounce it well. And she's going to take us through marketing strategies, how to sell your business, especially in the online space. And she's an expert. She will tell us more about herself, of course, but she's an expert when it comes to this domain. Lemuel, you have the floor.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you see me now? Okay, good evening. Yeah, so my name is Lemuel Yole-Odior, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you once again, Aya, for the opportunity, and the Uplift Horizons team. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. So I'll just go straight into it. I have had a bit of experience with business. So basically, I would say I started business when I was about probably 13 or so. Been amazing. It has been really amazing. When I was 13, I started off with selling what we normally call in Nigeria pure water and biscuits and all of that. And then I moved on to selling paintings when I got into the university. I also sold clothes, and then during my final year, I went into fashion. There were a couple of fashion shows that I participated in, and the fact that I couldn't sew what was on my mind, and tailors could not really interpret what I wanted them to interpret in outfits, I decided, it's time for me to actually learn and do this thing. And I was in the fashion business for about 7 years. So in 2015, I hosted my first fashion show in Kebbi State called the Zara Adele Fashion Show. That was right after my youth service. And then in 2016, I hosted season 2 in Benin City, University of Benin. I was running my master's program at the time. And of course, then I got married and started other businesses, went to graphics, bridals, and I gave birth to my daughter, and I birthed the Ewoma Organics hair care brand, specifically focused on, handling the African hair and also training other women to be able to start their own business and be financially independent. And it's been 3 years and counting, and it's been amazing. However, I've evolved into, helping other people grow their businesses, especially online, the digital aspects of their brand, and maximizing the online space to be able to grow things massively. The first 1 million I made off the internet, and I didn't start with anything. I basically just shared the idea with people that I wanted to teach them how to make hair care products, and I charged the cost for 5,000 naira. A couple of people got interested, they paid, and I used from the money to run sponsored adverts on Instagram. And in 3 months, we made about 1.5 million naira. And at that point, not like I have not had a whole lot of, not like I've not had a whole lot of experience with the online space, but that opened my eyes to seeing that a lot of people can, pay for what you know. As long as you know a little more than someone, they would actually pay to learn from you. And not just that, people will buy when you're solving their problems. At that point, we're solving financial independence challenges for women, and we're also solving the major hair care issues for women: baldness, postpartum hair loss, and all of that. And it was an easy sell because we were basically attending to the problems of people. And that's where I'm going to start my training from. When we're talking today, I'm going to be talking on marketing strategy. And where you're talking about marketing strategy, there are a lot of things that are involved. Yeah. The key takeaways for today is we're going to be understanding the power of marketing strategy. We're going to We're talking about getting to know your audience, setting clear and smart goals, analyzing your competitors, choosing the right marketing channels, unlocking the potential of content marketing, leveraging the world of social media, maximizing the impact of paid advertising, enhancing visibility through SEO and website optimization, the role of email marketing, measuring success with analytics, and the adaptability and staying ahead. So a basic introduction, just you need to learn what people are interested in on social media. Start with inspire thoughts, collaborate with ease, engage your audience, and have a memorable presentation. Basically, when we're talking about marketing, you first have to do your study. You first have to do your research. As a business owner that is starting out, probably with zero employees and very likely zero funds, you want to be able to understand what people are interested in first before you say, okay, I'm pushing out this product. You don't push out a product before you get the people interested. You get the people interested before you push out the product. I call it the pre-launch, the pre-launch, the pre-launch and the launch stage. And this is basically a phase in marketing where you try to understand what people are interested in. Let's say, for example, I want to sell hardback books. It's not a product that you would easily it's not a product that you would easily say, oh, someone is interested in, what am I using hardback book for, right? And it's something that you could say, I don't have a need for. But when you do your research and you realize that, okay, there is a specific segment of people who would be interested in this, that is when you've done a proper research to find your audience. You can't just bring it to the market and say, okay, let me sell hardback book. So let me use something more relatable, skincare products. Yes, as much as skincare products feel like, okay, they are very, very generic, a lot of people would be interested. There are some set of people that if you sell your skincare products to, they won't buy because really not everybody is interested in skincare. Some people just want to bait and hope. Some people just want to be all right. Like according to Nigerians, I just want to be all right. They just want to be okay. And then you bring in your, I have 50, and skincare products can have a whole lot of ranges. I have the toner, the SPF, the sunscreen, the this, and everybody's like, what is it? What happened to Vaseline? So you want to be able to find that aspect of the market that is interested in doing a whole lot of drama for their skin. Those are the people that will pay you. So every single business has the market that is interested in it. And for you to be able to bring a product to the market that will be very successful, then you must have done enough research to know who would be able to pay for this. And then there are two things, not just people who are interested, people who are capable to pay for it. And I'm referring to pricing. Yeah. For example, there is someone who might be very interested in doing skincare, and then the person hears the skincare product is 40,000 naira, and they're like, you know what? Back off. I'm not buying anymore. So you're not just looking at the people who are interested, you're also looking at the people who have the purchasing power to be able to purchase your product. Because at the end of the day, if you are just churning out this product to interested people, are they going to pay for it? Are you going to be selling on credit? So these are things you want to put in place when you're talking about marketing and how you want to get into the market. Marketing strategies are the driving force behind business successes, influencing growth, recognition, and your revenue. It's as simple as ABC. I try my best to make my slides really simple. So even if I'm not saying anything and you read the slides, you fully understand what I'm talking about. Marketing strategies are the driving force behind business successes. Now, if you don't have a proper strategy, if you don't have a good strategy, you're going to be shooting and miss, and that's a whole lot of bullets that are wasted. A marketing strategy helps you to aim rightly, and even though you don't get to that point at the very beginning, at least in 2-3 shots, you are there. It helps you to align your thoughts, it helps you to align your product, it helps you to align your services to the right market, to the right people, to launch them at the right time, and of course, in the right pricing space. But basically, the reason I said that is because you also don't just want to launch a product and just put a price without knowing what is the market cap for this. For example, if you're in the perfume business, there are some perfumes that you can't sell beyond the particular amount because, yes, Essenza is selling at this price, Blanco is selling at this price, this supermarket is selling at this price. So why are you selling 10,000 naira more? Everybody knows the price of the perfume. So you have to understand the market, the for your business before you go ahead to launch. Now, understanding your audience, who will what do they, who are going to buy your product? Where are they? What's their location? Are you focused on Nigeria? Are you focused on the global market? Do you just want to sell to people in the US? Do you just want to sell to people in Canada? Do you just want to sell to the young people? Do you just want to sell to students in school? Or are you looking at the executive, the C-level executive people? This is not related to just products. It's related to anything business, products, services, and whatnot. Now, when we talk about the importance of goal settings, setting goals, setting clear goals, it's very important. It's effective for marketing strategies to start with setting smart goals. It has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable, it has to be relevant, and it has to be time bound. Now, let's take this for example. I've done my. Can we still hear me? Can we still hear me?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. Can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I've done, let's say for example, I'm done with my research. I've understood my audience and all of that. What's my goal? What's the goal for the business? Setting specific goals are things like, okay, we want to sell 100,000 hair products in the next 2 months. Now it has to be measured. Say million, want to sell? No, you've got to be very, very specific. Your goals have to be measurable and they have to be achievable. The reason I'm saying this is this: you can't start your business today and then you say you want to make 2 million naira in the next 2 months. Trust me, I don't know what you're selling, but it's a whole lot of dream. The reason is simple. What is your product you're selling? What is your service? How do you plan to? So I'm not saying that it's not possible. I've helped a lot of business do that. There are some strategies you can put in place to be able to achieve that. But before you make assertions like that, you want to ask yourself, what's my market? Who am I starting this business with? I always tell people, before you even go out there to start selling to strangers, leverage your network, your WhatsApp connections. How far can those people pay for your service? If those people cannot pay for your service, then you're a long thing. That means you have to literally go out there and find the people that are going to start off with your business. And that's a whole lot of work. That's actually more work when you don't have anybody in your WhatsApp contacts that will be able to patronize you. So your goals have to be measurable. If I'm selling 1,000 products in the next 2 months, how many products should I sell in a day to be able to achieve that goal? So you have your big goals and then you break them into big sizes in order for you to be able to achieve them successfully. Set 50,000 naira at the end of the month, target daily, at least 4 to 5,000 naira, and I'll be able to achieve my goal. That makes more sense. It doesn't make the goal too big, it doesn't make the goal too cumbersome. You know, it helps the goal to be much more achievable when you say, okay, it's 150,000 on the long run, but daily is 4,000 naira. What do I have to do? Now, this is where some people stop, but goal setting doesn't stop here. It goes a step further. Now, when you say, okay, I'm making 4,000 naira daily, how? Do you need to sell more products? Do you need to talk to 10 people daily? When I talk to people and I'm like, you have to talk to 50 to 100 people on a daily basis for you to be able to reach your marketing goals, and they're like, who is going to do that? Then you're not ready to actually make money. If you're going to make 4,000 naira in a day, you shouldn't be talking to one person. You should be talking to 10 to 50 people, because out of those people, those are the ones that will now pay that 1,000 naira. So that simply means your WhatsApp contact is not even enough. We're going to talk about that much later in our paid advertising section. But I don't know, do we get the point? Do you understand what I've been saying so far? I would love for this to be more interactive so it doesn't look like I'm talking to myself. Do you understand what I've been saying so far?
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
anybody need clarity? Okay, great. So right now we're going to be talking about competitive analysis. So you've made a decision on the business you want to start. You've done your research, your basic research, right? Who are my audiences? Who wants to buy my product? Whose problem am I solving? What is that problem I'm solving? Where are they located? Who are they basically? Then you talk about your goals. Now you have to do your competitive analysis. It is compulsory. Competitive analysis involves evaluating competitors to understand their strengths and their weaknesses. There was a particular time that I needed to do a campaign, and I told a couple of our interns to, go and so each of them had to give me 20 lists of other Nigerians in the haircare space. That's because we wanted to go through their Instagram and see how they post, see what they write, go through their adverts using the Facebook library to understand how they target their audience, to understand. So you're not doing all of that so you copy and paste. You're doing all of that so you are able to build a unique space for yourself, because most times every business is already saturated. It is rare for you to now see a business that you will say, oh, I'm the only one doing it. Oh, I just 10 in Nigeria doing it. No. Haircare business is saturated. Weavon, wigs, whatever business you literally are in right now, even content creation, personal branding, whatever, it is already saturated. So what is going to make you different? What makes you different is first understanding the people that are already in that space. You have to be able to understand your competitors. Why do they post the way they do? Why are they using the colors that they're using? Why are they talking to the people they talk to in this tone? Why are they using such slangs? Is this the slang of the industry? Is this so? There are a whole lot that you need to understand before you decide that okay, you are ready to push your product to the market, or to run an advert, or to introduce a new product, or to push your launch and all of that. Your competitors have to be understood. For most of us, we've been on LinkedIn and we see how that space is. Now, imagine you want to come and sell a product there, and then you don't understand what Ahoma Wogu, Nathaniel Ike, Emmanuel Unduka, Oche Wright, Justin Welsh, and the rest of them they are doing. If you don't understand what they are doing, Soduke and the rest, then you are wasting time. You're literally wasting your time. Understanding and getting to know what these people are doing helps you to position yourself and your brand even better. That's the whole essence of competitive analysis. And then we have to go to the point where you choose rightly. This relates more to the marketing channel that you choose. Now, let's say, yes, I tell people that anybody can be on LinkedIn, but there are businesses that LinkedIn shouldn't be your number one and your very first, channel for marketing. For example, those people who sell wigs and clothes, just go to Instagram. Find your spot there. Build your brand there. LinkedIn can just be a way you drive more traffic to Instagram and all of that. But you have to find the right marketing channel in order for you to be able to sell your products to the right people. Marketing offers a plethora of channels. Selecting the right ones depends greatly on your audience and your goals. If you want to reach more parents, if you want to reach moms, new moms, stay-at-home moms, and all the like, just go to Instagram. Look for places like Fabulous Moms, Ashwebi Africa, Wives and Mothers. Those are the places you should go and start connecting with people. Engage on their posts, chat, reply to comments intelligently. Don't be amongst those people that do the whole trolling, bad commenting, negative commenting, and all of that. When people see your comments on any space, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever the space is, it should be intelligent enough for someone to say, who wrote this? Let me click through and check the person up. That's one way to be able to put yourself in that space as an authority, both in your field and whatever space you find yourself. So choosing where you want to sell your product or your services is very, very key. It's very important. Now, the power of CM, content marketing is gold. There's a difference between content creation and content marketing. Content marketing is a cornerstone of modern marketing. It's a powerful tool for engaging and attracting your audience. Now, when I want to do content marketing, I am not salesy. So some of us might understand what being salesy means. It's basically you trying to, I sell land, come and buy land. The land that I sell is all about this. No. Content marketing has everything to do with you educating your content, enlightening your content, educating your audience, enlightening your audience, and letting them know that this thing I'm giving to you is so valuable that if you don't buy it from me, without saying this in clear terms, yeah, if you don't buy it from me, you're making the wrongest decision of your life. That is basically content marketing. When your post or your content is good enough for people to say, where should I make payment? And this has nothing to do with you saying, I sell beans for 2,000 naira, buy my beans and grow taller. No, it has everything to do with you saying, this is beans. This is the reason why beans is good for you. If you have diabetes, this is the reason why you need to take beans. If you do this, this is the reason why you need to take beans. Beans has XXXYZ ingredients in it, compound or whatever in it that helps your skin glow. When you give people value, literally, that's content marketing. When you give them value in your field, for example, real estate, you want to talk about investment, you want to talk to that stay-at-home mom that doesn't know what else to do with the money her rich husband is giving to her, and then you let her know that that you can actually become the next billionaire by doing nothing, just investing in the right properties, investing in the right shortlets, investing in the right lands, this, that. And then at the end, you now say, P.S. If you need more of this, send me a DM. That's content marketing. Literally putting things out there that people will find so much value in, and then they have no other choice than to come to you and require that solution. That is content marketing. And when you're done with the content marketing, you have to leverage social media. Maximize that space. Social media has been created. You see the way these people are sitting down here on their phones. They're going through a lot of things. A lot of adverts are popping on their screens. A lot of people are selling to them. You don't want to be found wanting in this digital age where people are maximizing social media to become millionaires, to become the top ranking businesses in the industry, and to also build sustainable legacies and businesses. Leverage social media. This is clear for us to understand. Our journey continues with the influence of social media in marketing. I don't know the kind of marketing you want to do where you don't leverage social media. Literally, I don't know. Maybe the offline marketing. I'm fully sold out to the online space, so I would rarely talk about the offline marketing. But when you want to reach out to people, you are here. You want to reach out to people in Pakistan, you want to reach out to people in the US, Canada, and all of that. The best way to do this is to leverage social media. Make it work for you. Don't let it use you. Don't let it be a liability to you. Let it be an asset. If you're not talking about your business on a daily basis, then you're not running business. If people don't know you with your business name, then you've not built that business enough. This is what it basically means. This is what I basically mean by leveraging social media. Let it show so much in everything you do that this is your strength, this is what you're selling, this is your service, this is your product. And then when someone, even there was someone that bought a product from us 2 years after she heard about us. So imagine we're already out of business in 2 years. We literally have lost that customer. So there are a lot of people that are seeing you right now that might not buy from you today, but in the next 2-3 years, they're going to buy from it. And this can only happen if you stay consistent, leveraging social media and making sure that you stay relevant on that space. And then when it comes to paid advertising, never ignore it. A lot of people say, I don't have enough money to spend on adverts. You know that the people that are selling the most, for example, Coca-Cola, there is what we'll call ad budget, monthly ad budget when it comes to the C-level executives and all of that, and C-level companies and all that. What we call, ad budget is a compulsory thing. It's not negotiable. So even as a small business, you might not have all the necessary millions to run your advert. But you know what 1,000 naira advert can do for you as a new business? I started off that way. My first ad was 700 naira. And sorry, that advert gave me 4 people that paid for my course, 5,000 naira each. It's part of this is a typical example. When we ran the advert for our air care course in 3 months, spent 15,000 naira, and that translated to 1.5 million naira. What kind of offline work do you think, offline marketing do you think I would have done to be able to achieve that number of people that paid that amount of money? Currently, we have over 500 students that have taken the course, and the course is no longer 5,000 naira, it's now 20,000. So imagine I stay consistent on my advert budget monthly. It's a no-brainer. It's gonna make a whole lot of sense. So you have to leverage paid advertising. Paid advertising can be highly effective when executed correctly. This part is very important. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I spent money and the ad did not convert." Did you learn how to run the ads? It's not about putting money into adverts. There is a way to target the right audience. There is the how. How do you do this? There is the limits. Sometimes I realize that sometimes it's better to put in the money daily than to put in the money for a long period of time. It's seasonal. You have to understand paid advertising. You have to understand A and B testing. You run two adverts to test which one will produce more, so you know which one you are putting your money in more. So these are things that you have to make sure that even though you are not doing right now, you have to make plans for them because they are non-negotiable if you want to have maximum business growth. Then you want to go back to your roots. Show people how you started. When I was going to start this training, I told you my backstory, and it got you interested. Oh, this woman that started business when she was 13. And then I moved on to how I've been able to build a successful brand. Don't be scared to talk about it. Is not pride, it is showing proof, it is showing testimonials. This is what I can do, this is what I have done, and all of that. Be proud to show to people what you've done, what you can do, what you're going to do, your experiences. Share your experience. Storytelling is one thing that I have realized brings in a whole lot of customers. Like there was a particular advert I ran for our hair care product line, and I showed a picture of when I gave birth to my first daughter. The whole of this part of my hair was gone, the two sides. It was terrible. I looked terrible, and then I was unashamed. I used that particular picture for the advert, and I also put by the side how I was able to grow back my hair in 3 months, and my whole edges and everywhere was filled up. I had tons of people buy our hair growth oil at that point. That's because I was unashamed to tell my story. It was relatable. There were a lot of women that had experienced postpartum hair loss, that were having balding issues, hormonal issues, their hair falling off as though they have AIDS, and that was just because they gave birth to a child and all of that. They could relate to my problem. And then there was another one I shared of my daughter who lost her hair after 3 months, because of course some children just lose their hair naturally when they start growing. And then I also showed how I was able to grow it, and I got more people. So be bold to share your story as long as it relates to your business, and then you're not going all personal and dramatic. Yeah, when you share your story, people will relate more, and then they will see that emotional bank account is opened, and then before you know it, you're purchasing your product and your services. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is SEO and website optimization. When a lot of people see this, they're like, this is a big deal. This is a whole lot of trouble. You don't have to start, with a website right now, especially if you're a new business and you're just coming up. You can leave the website thing aside. But you see, SEO is very important. SEO is not just for website. When we talk about when you talk about SEO, for example, when it comes to Instagram, hashtags don't really do much. But you see the thing about using the right keywords. SEO literally has to do with using the right keywords in every platform that you are exploring, in order for people to find you, the right people to find you. So I was running an advert for a cleaning company. Imagine writing the content for that brand for the advert, and I don't write anything about cleaning. I don't write anything about I don't write anything about what's it called? Cleaning, fumigation. No, I don't write anything like that. And then for my hashtags, they're just bare. Or there's this new thing when you want to post a reel, you can select you can select 3 topics to add. And imagine I don't do all of that. Sorry, excuse me. Imagine I don't do all of that. That is SEO that is being wasted. Yeah. Pardon me, I need to take water. All right, so we currently are at SEO. So basically using the right
Sorry.
Using the right keywords. Thank you. Using the right keywords is very important. It doesn't matter if it's just it doesn't necessarily is tied to your website. It also has to do with Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of that, right? And Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever the space, you have to use the right keyword. Yeah. So I'm just going to wrap up. I'm having a bit of, I think I had fluid go down my throat wrongly. So effective marketing depends literally on what you say and how you say it. It's as easy and as simple as that. What are you saying? How are you saying it? Literally, I don't think it's anything else. Because most times all the marketing we see, when Adesua wants to talk about Huggies, when she wants to talk about Sana, when she wants to talk about Viva, it's how she's saying it and what she's saying that we're listening to, right? And your how can be different. Your how could be okay in written text, your how could be in videos, your how could be in music, it could be in anything. So you have to practice and get bold with how you project your brand to the world, basically. Yeah. So I want to say a big thank you for the opportunity, and I hope we've learned something good today.
Great. Thank you so much, Yole. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, let's say something to her. Let's say something. I'm so marveled by the presentation. It was awesome. It was awesome. But please don't go away because we have questions at the end. A lot of us are still really struggling with our brands, and that's why we came up with this program. Many of us, we really need help when it comes to our brands. Most of us might have a white collar job, but you still see a lot of people who have jobs still trying to have a business, at the side. And it's always very difficult understanding these things and implementing them. So thank you so much, Lemuel, for that presentation and for guiding us through so simply, because everything you said, I could relate to some things, though. I could relate to a lot of the things you said. Janet Owusu is from Ghana, and she's going to guide us through establishing our business internationally, the laws, and, international interactions and all of that. So thank you, Janet. She's going to tell us more about herself and what she's into. Janet, you're on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Great.
If you lose me, just scream my name because internet is crazy where I am currently.
Okay.
So I have switched places, but the moment you lose me, just scream my name. Janet, we are losing you.
Okay.
I will work on it. Thank you. But I want to commend Lemuel for doing a great job. She has actually made my work easier. Trust me. As a digital marketer, I can understand everything when it comes to international trade. So thank you very much, Lemuel, for making the job easy for me. And sorry for that little hiccup there. I can understand how. See, this is why public speakers, we take money. It's not easy. Thank you very much. But I would want to see some reactions to know that most of you are paying attention. Unlike Lemuel, I'm not going to share my screen. I want you all to pay attention and jot some notes down. All right. So basically, very brief, I am touching on international trade. And sorry if you are not seeing my face. If I turn my video on, you let me turn it on so you can see me. Hello everybody. Yeah, where I am is very dark, so sorry for that. But the voices was doing the magic here and the knowledge. Thank you. We are going to talk about scaling our businesses and discovering strategies for scaling businesses locally and globally. Locally, thank you very much, Lemuel, once again. You've said it all. So if you want to establish a business locally, follow what Lemuel said. Everything she said is true. Even internationally, it's true. You need to, on this aspect of mine, you need to have an exciting prospect for growing the life of your company or organization or agency, however you want to identify or refer to it as? First off, when you want to consider this thing, I always say, do your research. I'm a researcher, so I always say, do your research. Somebody should type, do your research. Do your research of the place you want to do your business. It is different if it is in your country and you know a couple of people around you. Like she said, you can't talk to just one person if you want to make 1,000 naira a day or 100k naira a day. It doesn't work. Do your research. Become paramount. This should be paramount in actually assessing the target market, the target place. So I like to give a lot of case studies. If you can't do the research yourself, you get a trade advisor to do the work for you, and it's going to cost you. Example, I recently worked with a couple of companies from the US. They wanted to work in the West African market, Ghana included. So they reached out to us. Some of them wanted to venture in certain sectors, and trust me, it was difficult. Even me in this country, what they wanted to start exporting into this country was not something that the people in the country are really, really interested in. I mean, who's very much interested in chemicals, right? So do your research. What do you want to sell? What do you want to sell? What do you want to take out there? So everything Lemuel has said, add it to everything I'm saying for the international market. Don't separate it. I'm not separating anything. In fact, if she hadn't touched on them, I would have started from where she started. But God bless you once again, Lemuel, for that. So everything Lemuel has said, somebody should give Lemuel a kiss for me. It's great. Thank you. Everything she has said, add it to this. Do your research. Know the economic and political stability of the country. Know that. This should favor you. Imagine going to do business in a country you didn't know was civil war prone. It's very difficult. So basically the research should encompass your growth potential, your target market, your competitive landscape. Now, when I say competitive landscape or competitive advantage, it is not knowing your competitors. That has been a misconception throughout. Competitive advantage, competitive landscape is not knowing your competitors. It is knowing how you will thrive and dominate the market. How you will thrive and dominate the market. Two instances. One, people go in just to make the money and then fade out. Two, people go in to build a brand and stay. So there is a brand in Ghana called Caveman Watches. He makes watches. The guy is freakishly expensive. He is expensive. He is good. I met him. He said he is following a brand. He is in to stay. Now, another market came in. They came for the money. They did the competitive advantage. So they've easily faded out. But they made the money and they're done. So know your competitive advantage. What will make you gain your capital, your profit? Not your sales, your profit. Your profit. After your sales and your capital, your expenses, what will you get? So know that. Understand the cultural diversities around international marketing. So now, if you want to do a lot of international landscaping in business, you need to start having friends across board. Having friends across board. Not necessarily close friends, but like Lemuel said, there are some businesses, LinkedIn don't just help out. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram. I'm not a social media person too much, so I leverage a lot on conferences and webinars. Conferences and webinars. Don't wait to be invited to conferences and webinars. Apply to some of them and you will get them. I leverage a lot of that. And yes, there are some companies or organizations where you thrive in LinkedIn. NGOs, you get LinkedIn. NGOs, corporate entities. When I say corporate entities, let's come to the consultancies. You get LinkedIn. It's good. Reach out to people. I am here because Aya reached out to me. She doesn't know me. I don't know her. She reached out. So learn to reach out. Understanding those cultural nuances is very, very good. Why? Because it helps you have an upper hand over what you are preparing and over your competitors. So if you want to go to Lagos, which side of Lagos, Nigeria do you want to go? If you want to go to Nigeria, do you want to venture Lagos? Do you want to venture Abuja? Recently, I was supposed to go to Abuja. I thought I could make it in a day. I called my friend. He said, you should have set off 2 days ago if you were coming with a bus. And the conference was just a day ahead. So I boycotted and I was stuck with the virtual option. So you need to also do a premeditated research or be proactive. Let me just use the normal one. Be proactive. Know ahead of time. And once more, in assessing your competitive landscape, this will enable you to differentiate your offering. When I say offering, what you give out, your infrastructure, your logistic, your risk assessment, organizational readiness. And before doing all of this, register your company. Okay, even if it's a digital platform, register it. Register it where you think it's safe for you. Digital marketing is good, but it needs to have a physical office as well, so that when you get people who come in, you can have an office where you can sit them down and say, this is where I am, in as much as I operate digitally. I have operated in Bangladesh. They come, there's an office here. I can't say, oh, because it's a virtual office, I don't have it. Even if it's a small room with 2 chairs, that is enough. So register your organization, make it a legal entity, legalize it. And if you want to go internationally, you want to operate outside, you also need to know the laws around registering a company. In Ghana, we have sole proprietorship. In fact, everywhere, generally, sole proprietorship, limited liability, limited by guarantee, and a whole lot. These things, but some people, it takes 3 months, 6 months. You need to have lived in the country for six months, for a year or 2. You need to have worked within an organization. That is why people work through people. I have had people register their companies through me because I'm a citizen here. And then when I register, I come on board as a director. They come the CEOs and all of that. The paperwork are not that difficult. But if you want to operate solely, you need to actually know the rules around it. All right. Branding. In fact, when I say branding, Lemuel has said it all. Branding. That is a marketing term that describes everything. She spoke about content marketing. It is true. It's part of your branding, okay? And you need to offer recognition. There are 4 basic types of endorsements: public, private, monetary, and promotional endorsements or rewards. So offer recognition, all right? You need to, when I say offer recognition, there should be specific examples, which include sending handwritten thank you notes to people, just celebrate someone, all right? So these are some of the things. And now let me break things down for you. In conducting a marketing research, this actually helps you to have a viable, it helps you to have the viability of a new service or product. So in a market research, you need to, there are ways by which you can actually have a virtual research. But if it's locally, you need to step on your toes. Go to the people. Go out there and talk to them. Go out there and seek for your own opinions so that you don't get confused along the way. And market research can actually help reduce risk by being as prepared as possible for the numerous challenges that can come when entering a foreign market. This is why people get duped. Market research is very necessary. You can better understand your customers and what they want. Your customers, your clients, what they want, and be better prepared to face competition, avoid legal troubles, and develop a very feasible strategy which will help you operate seamlessly. So every time be researching. Even if you start, you need to research, because the moment you start operating in a foreign country or in a foreign land, they know that there's a new competition. They will also up their game. All right. When Glo was venturing into Ghana, as at the time, I think I was 12, MTN did everything possible to stay on top. And still MTN is on top. It's on top Africa. They know when foreign marketers are coming in. So that is why I said your competitive advantage and your competitive landscape, it's not about your competitors. Knowing them is a plus. However, it's what will make you stay in the market for long. What will make you have your profit? What will make you operate seamlessly? Because especially when people are in the market, and if you are a startup, especially startups, if you're a startup, I will encourage a lot of collaboration and partnership among startups. Because the moment one startup collaborates with another startup, you become heavy-weighted. And the moment you are able to penetrate into the market, you form a strong bond. And then when you form that strong bond, you are able to form another partnership and collaboration with a bigger entity in that market. I don't want to say country, I want to say market, or in that industry or in that sector. So these are some of the things you need to look out for. So know that market research is important. And market research is not in the lame language like going to the market, but it has been coined to cover the whole business entity, the market, the clients, the customer base, customer acquisition. How do you get customers? How do you get clients? These are some of the things you need. So when it comes to market research, it needs to be in categories. It's not just a general thing. You need to categorize and be specific. How do I get customer acquisition? I remember 3 or 2 years ago, I was coming up with a GoFundMe for people in research, especially students. We did our market research. We saw that those who suffer the most are those in the master's level and the PhD level to get money to run a research. So we wanted to do our customer acquisition. Because of its students, it was easier for the masters. But when it comes to PhD, our mistake was that we didn't find out enough and know that PhD is totally different. PhD, you start your research after your first semester, when you start going for seminars and a lot of that. So we broke down when it came to the PhD side, and even with the masters. Then the government started introducing electronic levies and taxes. So if somebody is having a GoFundMe for a research of about 3,000 cedis, 4,000 cedis, and I want to send 100 cedis, I'd have to pay, as at that time, 1.5% tax on the 100 cedis. But now it has been reduced to 1%, which was 1 cedi. So if I want to send, and if I send that electronic tax, I would have to send another commission on the network I use. So these things were some of the unprecedented things we encountered. So we couldn't implement fully our GoFundMe for students. So you see, these are some of the challenges I faced as a co-founder, starting a company locally, not internationally, locally, and then eventually it would go internationally. So even if locally it's collapsed, you could imagine the number of GoFundMes or digital platforms that deal with GoFundMes that have been trading for long. I would have gotten nowhere. So these are some of the unprecedented things that happened. COVID, for example, was one of the things that happened to people that people don't like to talk about. It really, really gutted a lot of people, especially some of us who I remember I invested an amount of money into a business internationally, and COVID came and I couldn't go, and everything is gone now. So these are some of the things. So you always need to have backup. When I say backup, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to be vigilant. Yes, there are some of them that will happen that you do not know about. A government, especially looking at our continent, where a lot of things, politics is one of the driving forces of our government. They come, they sleep, they wake up, they say today don't export, the next day export. So you know how Rwanda, I don't know, I stand to be corrected. Let me just say, one of the East African countries passed the law that there will be no more importation of jeans, and that they will be promoting locally made jeans. I mean the trousers. So imagine if you have shares in an international market that imports jeans, and you just invested about 3 months ago, and this is the new bill. You can imagine some of the things. These are some of the things that can happen. But not to scare you, international trade is great, but it comes with a lot of connections. You need to know, and not every news you see about international trade is true. You need to know for yourself. Do the research, read a lot, especially the sectors within which you want to operate. Some of you want to operate US, UK, even in Africa. You want to operate South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, West Africa, everywhere. It is very, very good, but you need to know what is happening. That is why I said you need to know the economic and political stability of the country. So this will help you gain more insight on your target audience. Now you need to develop an international expansion strategy. This is where, as young people, it becomes difficult, because sometimes you haven't grown much, and even as a startup, you are facing challenges in paying taxes and all of that. International expansion strategies could be key decisions related to key focus markets. So target customers, channel strategy determination, resource allocation. So this is like an entry strategy. Export marketing, or when I say expansion, export marketing. Every time you need to think of expanding, develop an international expansion strategy. Export marketing. So market research, products design. So these strategies are what I'm telling you. Market research is one. Product designing, branding, packaging, pricing, advertising. So every time you need to be investing in. That is why now YouTube has become one of the most platforms for advertisement. If we knew YouTube would become one of the most platforms used for advertising, people wouldn't be venturing YouTube, because we want to watch our movies and listen to our music without display advertisement. And Lemuel has already said it. She has already said it. These are some of the international expansion strategies. Product design. Sometimes you see that this company has rebranded. They tell you the same content but different clothing. They tell you the same this. If you can see Pepsi and Coca-Cola, you can understand the rivalry I'm talking about. But you know, Coca-Cola has had that bragging rights for long. Even when it comes to Mercedes-Benz, recently when BMW celebrated 100 years. Mercedes-Benz used BMW against it. They said, thank you BMW for competing with us for 100 years. It would have been boring without you. You see how they are creating nostalgia. These are some of the things. So they are creating an international expansion. And one car company, I'm sorry I'm using big companies, but these are some of the examples we can use. One of the biggest car companies said they don't advertise in newspapers because that is not where people read. They advertise on television because that's where people watch a lot. So these are some of the strategies. So if you want to expand, well, you need to have a good marketing strategy, or let me say international marketing strategy, and a good background in. It's not just about business marketing or business management, but you need to know these things: your products design, brand. And if you render services like myself, You must always be on point. Content marketing is key. Content creation is key, because it is the content that speaks to the people, not you. Sometimes the little videos or reels you produce is what talks to people. I don't do reels. I do content, and I do a lot of content with just pictures. That's all I do. Like I said, it's not all about the words. Sometimes the words are too long. It's just a niche that is missing in that industry that you can just add up to it, and then you're good to go. All right. So these are some of the things. And yes, marketing license agreements are very, very important. Marketing license agreement. And if you want to partner or collaborate, please sign an MOU with an understanding. MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with whatever organization you want to expand with or you want to collaborate with. Like I said, for SMEs, it is always good to collaborate. Sign an MOU. Let there be an understanding, because no matter what, when there's a contract, you know you are binded by that. All right. And try digital marketing for public relations purposes. Digital marketing for public relations purposes, because we live in a digital world. We live in a digital space. Digital marketing for public relations purposes. When I say digital marketing, Lemuel has said it. Brand advertisement, search engine optimization, graphic designing, the video advertisement, and a whole lot. I'm a digital marketer, but I do content creation and content marketing. And then there are people who do the graphics and a whole lot. So digital marketing is vast. Social media marketing is one. Social media marketing, how to use WhatsApp, how to use LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even Zoom. I'm sure there's a way you can use Zoom to advertise. Some people have, I see, if you know, sometimes when you join a Zoom meeting, you see people's company names and you'll be wondering, that's a form of advertisement, digital marketing. All right. Now let's look at joint ventures. When we say joint ventures, we are talking about access to new markets and distribution networks. When a foreign company establishes a joint venture with a company, so if joint venture is basically, like I already said, if, for instance, Aya was to establish a company in Ghana, all right, she comes through me, and so I become the host country hosting her. So it becomes a joint venture, all right. I'm just saying in simple terms, my organization becomes the host country for Aya's company. That is a joint venture. That is basically it. So I'm working through someone, it's a joint venture. So you can also try that. That is why I said to do that, there should be an agreement, a business arrangement in which you agree to pool resources together for the purposes. You agree to pool resources together for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. That's all. So, okay, let us pool resources. So sometimes you see that a company is in Cameroon, but they have partnership from someone in Egypt. That's a joint venture. And mostly those things are for short term. Mostly they are for short term. You wonder, how are they able to penetrate here? And normally these things, they normally work through the government organization. So you see something like Ministry of Education in partnership with maybe ESSC, Education Sub-Saharan Africa, and a whole lot. These are some of the things that you see. So joint ventures are basically where you come together to achieve something. So please look for licensing. And like I said, everything Lemuel has said, I'm just touching on them. She made my work easier. And address legal and regulatory considerations, else you will pay the price. International markets don't joke like that, and there's something we need to understand when it comes to international trade. Now, if you want to export outside, we have something called most favored nation principle and non-discriminatory principle. Most favored nation principle states that no country should favor a country over the other, especially so let me bring it in practical terms. Africa here, West Africa, Nigeria and Ghana are known as twins. Why? Because we were colonized by the same colonial masters. So if there's an importation from Nigeria to Ghana and there's an importation from Egypt to Ghana, Ghana shouldn't favor Nigeria over Egypt because Egypt is in Northern Africa. But once we are in Africa, we need to have an understanding that we have the same goods, if not similar, if not minute differences. That is the most favored nation principle. Do not favor others over the others. And there are certain trade laws that tells you that when you are importing from UK into Ghana, the tariffs are high. So when you're importing from, let me say, the first world countries to the third world countries or developed into developing, the tariffs are high. Why? Because it is assumed that they are developed and they have the monies because they have let me just say they have purchasing power. Simple. That is why when foreigners come into your country during holidays, prices go high for them because it is assumed that they have purchasing power because of the imbalance in currencies. So you need to understand all these things. Non-discriminatory principles states that if we are all African countries and we are exporting to the UK shouldn't favor Ghana over Nigeria because Ghana is nicer than Nigeria, or however they want to term it. If we are all in Africa and we are coming, accept us as we are with the kind of goods. However, there are lots of trade principles you need to understand. We have the principle of standardization, especially for those who manufacture products. The principle of standardization. Now, it will seem that some of the products we manufacture in our countries are good to us according to our trademarks and our standard boards and standard authorities. However, the standard boards and standard authorities or the laws or the acts of foreign countries will not corroborate that. How? In Ghana, we have a locally manufacturing and assembling car company called Kantanka. Now, Kantanka manufactures cars and he assembles cars, but he doesn't export. Why? Because according to the principle of standardization in some of the foreign countries,
Janet,
they are standard. So the principle below our standard,
off.
It's simple. Everything you are producing here is good. Your people, you are losing me. Sorry, yeah. Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
okay,
you
good
now.
Thanks for the call out there. that was a quick wake-up call. All right, so let's continue. This is a whole, I'm enjoying my own lecture, but I'll just sum up, and if you have any questions, you let us know. So the principle of standardization is just if it is up to standard or below standard, that is just it. So if you are within, if you render products, if you manufacture products, foods, perfumes, and a whole lot. In Africa, we deem everything from the Western world to be second to none because we think they are good. So we have just lowered our standards, except for when it is against certain human rights or it affects lives and a whole lot. However, just know that the principle of standardization means, is it up to standard or below standard? Simple. So you can even have all your necessary legal documents done, but if the products, that is one thing I admire about the Western world. Before they give you the certification, they ensure if the products you want to take into their country are up to standard. But with us, we will give you the certificates before we start doing those things. So we need to look, and if it is important to you, have a trademark, copyright it, and patent your product. That is why up to now we can't have Viagra sampled or replicated. If it is important, you need to have a copyright, trademark, let's just say intellectual property, to protect yourself and your products. All right. So I won't be surprised if very soon When it comes to digital marketing and social media, there'll be trademarks because people have been stealing a lot of people's content on the internet. Because with that, there isn't any law to that. Like, there's no law preventing someone can just change it. The only thing you can say is that they've plagiarized. But when it comes to product, services, marketing, you need to know the intellectual property. All right. So these are some of the things. Joseph, hi, can you please mute yourself? It's giving me feedback. Thank you. And these international laws are just to ensure that you comply. And compliance is not an easy busy thing in the international market. I remember somewhere in June, I went for an ITC She Trades Exports marketing session. And there were people from, it was mainly Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, and people from the Bangladesh. And some of the products, you see, one thing about trade is if you haven't registered, you can't take more than, you can only take a few and say it's for your family. That is all. And when you go and you sell, it's done. And so sometimes, especially when those days, especially when you want to bring phones, you have to pay the duty. It's not easy complying to them. So you need to know these things. And if you have a host country and you have a branch, please, you need to be circulating around. So international trade is not something you set up and you sleep on it. Nope. You must always be on the ground. You must always be on the ground. And you need to schedule regular internal audits. Even if your books are clear, weekly, I always tell people, let's do weekly, let's do monthly, let's do quarterly, let's do bi-monthly, let's do the yearly, so that you know that everything is consistent. You need to know the ups and the downs and a whole lot of stuff like that. And you need to build a global team. When I say build a global team, it's not the bragging right of having companies outside, but when we say build a global team, people who are knowledgeable about the global market, international teamwork. It helps you think quickly. You become good problem solvers. What is happening in Nigeria? Do you know anything about? Let's have someone who is always up on the Nigerian market or up on the West African market, up on the the US market, the UK market. Have someone who is always, when I say global, it's not basically they are living there. Yes, they can live there, but they need to be informed about what is happening. These are some of the things I am telling you, but there's a lot. When it comes to international trade, there's a lot to learn, because international political economy also covers international trade. The political economy of the international world. Imagine World Bank saying that we're not going to dish out money, or we are not. World Bank has small businesses in every member state. So if they say, okay, they've halted businesses in every member state, boy, are we doomed. So the international political economy also sometimes dictates and determines how the outcomes of some of these things are. But you also need to study the foreign policies of these countries. Some countries will tell you this year, no, they are not importing palm oil. This year, they are not importing crab and all. So you need to know and you need to be versatile, not just one. You need to be versatile. All right. It's not always one business. One business is good, but you need, like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You need to, in creating a global marketing strategy, you need to go standard, international, and multinational. So standard is basically local, international is basically 2 countries, and multinational is 2 or 3 countries. And know that trade within the same region is still international trade. It's not always the UK, US, Germany, Australia that is international. But trade within the same region. When I say same region, I'm talking internationally. We see the whole world as a global country, and then the continents as regions, and the subcontinents as sub-regions. So, pardon me if you don't get it, but that is how best I can explain this to you. So please do your market research, know your media channels, know your pricing and localization. And yes, Lemuel talked about pricing. Do you want to trade in local currency or foreign currency? Do you want to trade in local currency or foreign currency? I remember I had the opportunity to sit in a trade summit in Ghana some time ago. We're debating on investment in foreign or local currencies, and people who wanted local currencies were there because the local currencies are available for you. However, when it comes to the international market and its dollar, we know dollar is a deciding currency. So sometimes you are found wanting when you start your calculations and they don't tally. So you need to know, do you want to trade in the local currency? When I say local currency, if you are going to the UK, would you want to trade in dollars or in pounds? And know that whatever we do, African currencies don't stand that much. So if I say I'm trading in cedis in the UK, how serious do you think they're going to take me? Sometimes let's ask ourselves these questions. If I want to trade in cedis, how do you think they will take me? And a whole lot. So please, I am exhausting so much time. International trade is a whole discipline on its own. Make good use of your social media platforms. Form connections and networks. Leverage on a lot of things. Go for conferences. Draft business plans, please. Draft business plans. When I say draft business plans, if you can draft a business plan for your local market, you can draft a business plan for your international market. So, because basically the only thing you'd have to switch is the focus and the destination. That's just it. So I will stop here. There's a lot to study on international trade, and so that we can also give Izu the opportunity to talk to us about business coaching, because I really want to know what business coaching is. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Aya. This is where I would leave it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Janet. Thank you for having us too, and for everything. I've learned a lot about international trade today. So thank God for this trainings. At least we learn while impacting others, and of course, I believe that the greatest impact you could give someone is education, knowledge, right? So sometimes you can give people money, it's good. But when you give someone the knowledge and that wisdom that, okay, I could start my own business and I can excel in it, I think you've impacted that person more than giving that person maybe 100K. So thank you so much.
Let's do it hand in hand. When you impart, to add the money, so that
great. Of course. Let's do it hand in hand.
Yes, we can invest the money with the knowledge we've shared.
Now we're going to have that debate that which is more impact.
Exactly.
100K finishes, right?
Yeah.
And you're on the same stage.
Exactly.
Stage in your life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
but I want us to acknowledge, if you see within the class, you see a name like Isaac Newton Aqua is one of the main international trade people from the world, but he's based in Ghana. So if you want anything on international trade, he is your man. Great. International Trade Center's man. Yes.
Wow.
Thank you so much. Yes. So we are honored to have
Isaac. Thank you so much. So we'll give you an opportunity to talk at the end. Izu was supposed to start with us, but he was caught up with something very important. So he's going to take it off from here. So let's just keep our questions, our comments, and anything that could, contribute to this great event and training. So let's keep it. After Izu Samuel's presentation, we'll have all of that. Thank you guys for staying tuned to this moment. Izu, it's up to you, and please, you just give us some, intro about you. We want to get to know you better. Thank you.
I'm very honored to be here today. My name is Izu Samuel, and in the past years in my life, I have always been about helping people to use stories to place their lives. It's really important that we understand that everything that we have all shared here today, from Lemuel to the last speaker, the fantastic speaker that I have just been hearing her voice, and I'm referring to Janet. Believe me, everything here rises and falls on the importance of business, the culture of business, and connecting with people. Essentially, what I would have to share concerning the business coaching is not something that I possibly want to be cloudy people with and all of that at this time. I believe we must have received the Lord, but ultimately, business coaching is always all about the value you're bringing to the marketplace. And in the marketplace, it is sectioned into different levels and factors. Essentially, when you talk about business and you talk about coaching, you need to be one person who must have done business in the past 17 years in your life to be able to become a coach in the business sector that you are called upon. There are many and numerous examples to be mentioned, the likes of Elon Musk, the likes of Detour is a one of those. He had one of his businesses in Cameroon, but he invested more in Italy and some European countries. So, but then you need to ask yourself this question: who am I in terms of what business am I bringing to the marketplace? And the marketplace has to do with a community of people, a network of people who want to receive from what you have. The question you may want to ask yourself before you get into the culture and the value proposition of becoming a coach in the business society is to ask yourself, what problem are you capable of solving? I am capable of helping people to use story to build their businesses, from the legal perspective to the journalistic perspective to all angles. But then you need to ask yourself, if you should disappear from the world for just one good year, what exactly would people miss about yourself? Ultimately, asking yourself this question is going to solve the problem of understanding the science of what the business of coaching is all about. So I'd like to ask this question: what problem are you solving? Can you put it down in the comment box? I would like to read to know the problem you're solving. Recently, I was announced by the United Nations to train some stakeholders on the art of storytelling. I'm to train over 6 different countries, from the stakeholders from 6 different countries. So I'd like to know, let me get to read your chats in the comment box. I lead a platform called the First Class Trainers International. It has an office in Nigeria, it has an office in the UK, and what we do is just basically about helping people to develop the skills of effective communications and storytelling. And then we help people also to build and solidify their businesses by training and helping their staff base to master the art of transferring the values they're proposing to their potential clients and investors. So very important thing that you must note about the effectiveness of doing business and helping yourself to be able to be one person who is respected and valued in the right sense of developing yourself and putting yourself out cannot be separated from knowing what problem you're solving. What problem are you solving? So I see in the chat box that we have people impacting African youth with skills to excel, girl child advocacy and women development empowerment. In my world, with the investment of my personality project, Feed 5,000 through an NGO. So obviously, we see that we have visibility, plugging knowledge gaps, and upskilling and all that. So the question I want to ask you is this, ladies and gentlemen. In Africa, we have many people who are very knowledgeable, but they lack the capacity to be able to effectively put themselves in the global map. They are so timid, they are so limited, they are so afraid to outsource themselves and position themselves for every given opportunities. So 2 things I'm going to share with you is, one, if you are ever going to make impact in the marketplace on the basis of business coaching, you must be very intelligent. Like, I'm not talking about ordinary intelligence. I'm talking about 21st century intelligence. You must be one person who is ready and dedicated to developing yourself. It's not the LinkedIn kind of development, kind of development that is centered around yourself and for the benefit of the people who are probably going to be connected to who you are and who you become. Now, the second thing that is going to stand you out in the culture and in the business society is your network. Who are the people you have in your network? Who are the people that you are connected to in your network? Who do you know and who knows you? So the people that knows you is obviously going to change the trajectory of your business. It's going to change every single thing about your business. And this is why it is essential that you become very committed about building your business in terms of building a relationship with people and solidifying your network. This is really important thing to note. So you ask yourself, who are the people in your network? For instance, in the next 20 years, who would be the people in your network? Who are those people who are going to be in your network? The journey begins from today and the very day you started your business. The problem of Africa is that we are devoid of collaborative skill sets, both in business and in many other ramifications. We have this problem with collaborating with people. We have this problem with building networks, and we have this problem of not being loyal enough to build businesses in terms of collaborating with people and growing forward. So this is why I have started asking people to develop their skill sets in line with telling stories, sharing stories, and building themselves. So the final thing I'm going to share with you because of time is, if you want to build a business that will last and outlive you, you must master the powerful art of telling stories. In fact, I was able to get connected to many people across the globe, impacting, training them the very day they heard my story. What is the story behind your business you want to do? Because if there is no story behind the business you want to do, you can't be a business coach. So being a business coach is directly connected to the story behind the business that you are doing. Because there is no business in this world that is not connected, related to a story. Every business, every human being is a product, and they are directly or indirectly connected to a story. So ladies and gentlemen, but for many of you who listened to me some moments ago, I'm not here to educate you, but I'm here to help you to understand what you really need in order to take a walk in becoming a business coach. So put the number 1 in the chat box if you really got any value from this conversation. And I'd like to appreciate you people for listening. I'd like to appreciate you people for the value and everything you gained from today's conversation. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be leaving you, and then I'll come back to Aya later. God bless you all, and bye. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Guys, let's chat now a little. Does anyone have anything to add? I saw some hands during the presentation, especially during the presentation of Janet and also Izu. So anyone who has something to add?
Hello.
Yes.
Can you get me?
Yes, we can, Doctor.
Yeah, Dr. Izu was talking about storytelling.
Yes.
I wanted to intervene on the fact that there are many business people, business gurus, whose stories have never been told. And there are ways in which we can tell their stories. We can even tell their stories in the form of cartoons. We can do a cartoon about Dangote, and these cartoons can inspire even children who are in nursery schools or primary schools to start imbibing certain principles in business. I think storytelling in the form of comics, storytelling in the form of plays, in the form of movies, in the form of autobiographies and biographies, especially autobiographies. You know, there's a lot to do about storytelling which is lacking, and I know great businessmen and women who have died leaving behind no story about their achievements. I think it's time for us to start telling those stories. And I think it's a whole project, and it's a whole project which should be looked into seriously. And I know even young hawkers, there are many young people around doing businesses, shops, who have a lot to tell about their experiences. And I think this can be fictionalized, or, in such a way that it will go a long way to inspire many other things. Let's see how we can create or broaden the platform of looking for other ways to tell the stories. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you so much. This training is to help startups, those who are interested in starting up businesses. So will these stories help entrepreneurs?
Greatly. If you read 1, 2, 3 stories, it will motivate you to know where to go from the from the experiences of those who told the stories or who tell the stories. I think any startup person should listen to or get to these stories for them to make decisions, because they will see what the experiences of those who went ahead of them, their difficulties, their challenges in those stories. And I think those stories are going to assist startups or young people who want to come outside. I think they cannot do without the stories. Yeah.
Okay. Any other person has something to add?
Hi everyone. Thank you, Iya, for this opportunity. I just want to say thank you to Janet, to Lemuel. Thank you for all the knowledge you've been passing on to us. You talked about reaching you. What platforms do you have that we can reach you? That's what I just wanted to ask. But thank you so much. I really learned a lot from what you shared on the international marketing, and as well, Lumia, what she shared as well, the marketing strategy. Yeah. So, and thank you, Iya, for putting this all together. This is really, really brilliant. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And it's encouraging when you guys say such words to us. It's great. Thank you. Yes. Any other person? I can see Bia. Shadi said he had a question to ask.
Yes, I'm on.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I want to thank all the presenters. They did a great job. I just want to find out from. I have a question to ask, and the question is this: with respect to the person who talk about international business, and they talk about branding and advertisement. In our country, Cameroon, advertisement is very expensive. Even at the fact that we are using Facebook, Instagram, and tweets, we are not yet using YouTube. Now, this expensiveness and the small capital that you have, and especially is very challenging to some of us, because I'm a leader of the persons with disability in a remote area. What methodology what are the things or which means can we use in order to cope? Because with the ongoing socio-political crisis in our country, especially our region, we have been displaced from our original settlement, and now we are in different settlement. Our expenses are more than our income. So what advice can you give a startup in the business field?
Am I at liberty to respond?
Janet, the question was to you actually.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Dr. T. Vijong. This is where I wish we studied on navigating the future with AI. But like he said, it is true. Now, when it comes to advertisement, it is expensive everywhere. Advertisement is expensive everywhere. However, like you said, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, so you record short videos. And then, like Lemuel said, I don't know if you've heard of email marketing or bulk messaging or bulk tagging. These things are some of the ways by which you can actually get to people you think you need to get to. Now, when it comes to advertisement, what kind of advertisement do you want? Do you want video advertisement, Media advertisement. Now, when it comes to media advertisement, is it social media, print media, or traditional media? Traditional media, television, radio, print media, the newspaper, social media. Everybody has switched to social media because with social media, you can control things on your own. All you have to do is buy bundle, then upload. Buy bundle and then upload. So this is how you can remain consistent, Dr. T Vision. It's either you choose a weekly update, a daily update, or a monthly update. Now, daily updates should be very short, maximum 10 seconds, 15 seconds of what you do. Weekly updates could go 1 minute or 30 seconds. So weekly updates, you could release two reels or 2 short videos weekly, or a graph, a flyer weekly. Monthly updates could be like a broad 2-minute video of what you do. There you say, see you next month with this activity. Then you name the activities you do. That is why I'm asking you, what kind of advertisement do you want? When it comes to graphics, we have lots of AI devices. Canva is one. You can use Canva the video should not be more than 30 minutes for Canva. If you are using Canva free, it should not be more than 30 minutes. You do your editing. You can even do a voiceover with Canva. And then even with PowerPoint presentation, you can do it. Microsoft 365, you put your pitch deck together, you do a voiceover with a little bit of a musical background, and then you do it. So this is where you need to learn on IT skills. When Izu was talking about some of the things you need, somebody type upskilling. This is one of them. So the kind, that is why Lemuel said not every social media supports certain activities. And then I even mentioned that for NGO, Facebook and LinkedIn is good, because we all know Twitter doesn't have the time to be looking into those things. Shady has raised the hand. So you need to know the kind of advertisement and what you want to do. If it's video, you can do, I will recommend use Canva. For audio, you can do a typing and then you do your audio behind it. I don't know if you know how to do that, but you need to be consistent. Are you going to go daily, weekly, or monthly? And let me tell you, advertisement is expensive. If you want to pay for that, if you want to have a paid advertisement on YouTube and LinkedIn, they are expensive because there are also taxes involved. But you should also have a social media platform where you think you want to do that. And you need to have a lot of social capital with that. Reach out to people, tag people. So that is why when the moment people come to social media, they make a lot of friends, because the moment they update, it's gets to the connections of, so we call it second party, or first connection, second connection, and the third connections of your first connections. That's how I can explain. But this should take a whole day for training. I won't lie to you. Shady, do you have a question?
It was Shady's question, actually.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Oh, okay.
Now,
that was Shady.
You were explaining some certain things which I have never heard in my life. For
Wow.
example, yeah, those are the problems that we have as person with disability and those who are staying in a very remote area. Now,
Okay.
I'm fortunate to have internet like this because I've traveled from my village to come to town for for something which I was invited. That's why you can see me, I'm having an internet. But now immediately when I go back to the village, it is difficult for me to even connect to WhatsApp as I'm talking like this. But now, what I am doing is, I'm an eye specialist and I have a small clinic. And I've raised capital and we are busy to try to see how we can do a lot of volunteer work at the level of the community. I mean, free eye consultation, giving of reading glasses for free. The people will buy the eye drops and the prescribed medicated glasses, which I don't even have the equipment to start. And I've been doing all this while with no support. I keep on moving. As one of the lecturers said, don't give up. Because you need to set your goals and the importance of goal setting. Now, which I have set my goals that in this time to this time, I will struggle to see how I can meet up to raise some money to get 1 or 2 equipment. But the problem is, you have talked this one for advertisement, this one for that. I don't know those things. What I know, what you are saying is now, I know of Facebook, I know of WhatsApp, I know that YouTube is expensive. Twitter is when you give 1-2 weeks, we don't tweet, they block your tweets. Those are the challenges we are facing, because they'll block your tweet and start telling you that they'll start giving you they'll start asking you questions or telling you that you have for example, failed one of the rules and regulations without tweeting every day. Now, this is the question. The second question: you have a small startup capital. You want to advertise your business because you are an expert in that field. And as a person with disability, you cannot be able to go around like a person without disability. Now, the crisis in our zone is 7 years, is an ongoing 7-year crisis, which has disturbed the youth. We have set a goal that in 5 years' time, because that was the goal I set when I graduated from school. In 5 years' time, I'll be able to make sure I raise the capital and I see how I can keep my clinic. But now this is 7 years' time, and the life, let me use the word, 98% of persons with disability are living in my community is hand-to-mouth life. Some of them are staying with their children, about 8 or 9 of them in a room. I mean, in a room, 8 or 9 of them in a room. And most of the houses that the landlords and the landladies are building are disability barriers. They are not disability inclusive. In such a case, as an expert, what can you advise me as somebody who is still aspiring to grow in the business, and so that I can take back to my community with respect to my peers and help them to understand that you start up a small business, you need to do this, for you to grow. So if you can give us this, if you can give me this insight, I'll be very happy. Thank you. I'm waiting.
Okay, thank you very much, Shady. So for the first one, it has to do with the you're not the only person facing it. I think it's an African thing. Rural development. That is why people always call on CSOs, NGOs, and the government. Rural development is the job of that is why there's an imbalance between the rural and the urban areas. So let's just say that is way above our pay grade for this, because what this training is trying to do is to empower and equip you. And I'm very glad to know that you have been empowered, and these are some of the things you have identified. So that rural problem with the internet and all that, even though sometimes, and these telecommunication organizations are mostly private in Africa. They are in for profit. And so even if they will set up a transformer or a transmitter in a rural area, it's not going to be in completely remote areas. They will never do that. It is the job of the government to do that, to provide these amenities for its citizenry. But however, apathy also plays a role. Trust me, this is a whole lot of development. As a development practitioner, this is not something we want to go into today. That is a whole other debate, discussion, advocacy, activism, demonstration on its own. However, for your first one, I'm going to tell you it's a rural development issue that is in the hands of our local government and our central government, or federal government, so to say. The second one, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, you were talking about some of the things. The landlords are also, we have, this is huge. The landlords are private owners of their own lands, and they are not building the lands with the aim that a disabled person will come and live here. They are building the houses to rent out, period. That is their aim. Even in Ghana, we are struggling with rent. How the government should come in and dictate or determine the rent. Now, the person spends an amount of money and builds the house, and it's not disability friendly. The first thing to do is educational sensitization. The first thing to do is to start educating them on the dangers and the benefits and the profits and how everybody can coexist. There is nothing wrong if you build a house and you make one or a part of the house disability friendly. The moment there was this activism, most organizations in my country started carving ways for disabled people in wheelchairs and crutches and a whole lot. Now, you're talking about being in a remote area completely, you not being able to move around to actually acquire customers and clients. My question to you, Shady, is how many abled people do you think you can work with? Do you think you can come to a consensus with to help you accomplish this goal that you want to accomplish? Because like I said, it's got nothing to do with a disability or a limitation. It is how we can coexist. Believe me, there are places where I go, you don't speak the language, so you need to get someone. That's why I said for startups, you need to learn the act of collaboration and partnership. It's got nothing to do with that. The aims or the purpose for that agenda or that program or that vision is what counts. I can't move around. You can move around. Where can you go? I can go to 5 towns. Where can you go? I can go to 6 towns. We have 11 towns already. From each town, how many people do you think you can accumulate or bring on board? I can bring 6 people. I know people. 6 by 5 is 30. 6 by 11 is 66. You already have 96 people. Counting to 100. Let's say you can do this thing in a month. So in a month, a week you go to one town, a week you go to another town, a week you go to another town. Depending on how you schedule it. It's all about collaboration. I can only talk from this part of my world because that is how I work with disabled people too. Trust me, they are nice to work with. Everybody is nice to work with. Exactly. He said the need for partnership can never be overemphasized. Don't think for one that this person will say no to you. Just shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. And talking about having a very little capital to start your SME or startup, that is why there are ways of working. That is why I said this is why we need to venture into navigating into the future of technology and AI. Canva is one thing. You can do free advertisement. All you need is bundle. If bundle is the problem, everybody faces it. Trust me, it took Muammar Gaddafi to come up to add up to the amount of money Africa needed to set up a satellite for us to get internet to Africa. Even if we look at the challenges, it has to take all of us. And trust me, these problems are open secrets that people know, but as you'd have it, not everybody cares about it. Not everybody. So in order to do this, you need to learn to leverage on your partnerships and your collaborations. Even people in urban areas are partnering and collaborating because only you cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. All right. So the little money you have that you think you want to start advertising, sit down. That's why I said draft a business plan. And even when it comes to this, your advertisements falls under communication. So you draft a communication plan. And a communication plan comes with its own budget. And luckily, like I said, these online tools are there. All you need is bundle. Some of the strategies I use is midnight bundles are cheaper than daylight bundles. And midnight bundles, the bandwidths are higher than daylight bundles because daylight bundles bandwidths are always reduced. So midnight bundles, you set a time. Every 3 days, you use your midnight bundle, which is cheaper to create these flyers. So if you want to create 5 flyers in a week, you create it. 1 video or 2 video reels in a week, you create it. It is not as easy as it seems, but it is very, very possible. When you start it, you can achieve it. It's not easy to start, but when you start it, you can achieve it seamlessly. All right. But when it comes to these landlords and the people, believe me, it has to do with sensitization. In the issue of climate change, a village in India were breaking down solar panels because they thought it was against their belief systems. They weren't educated enough. So you can't just come and say build houses that are disability friendly. What if that is not behind the landlord's? It's not part of the landlord's burden. His or she's is that they are building a house to rent out and get their money. But if those sensitizations are done, a change can start from someone. Shady.
Okay, thank you so much. Permit me to ask this question or this worry.
Okay, no problem.
Is it Lemuel who talked about the building of websites? And,
Yes.
Coming in with respect to partnership. Now,
Yes.
Now this is what I discovered. We have already talked about advertisement that are expensive. Now I love to build a website, which I don't even have an idea of building a website. I consulted an expert, and an expert tell me it's $1,000 to build a website for my organization or for my business. Now I asked the person, if I have $1,000, I will instead use it to buy, to even add some money to buy equipment and put it on my clinic as I proceed with respect to my business. Now he said, because the reason why I was eager, I have the mindset to build a website, because whenever I am seeking for partnership, most of the partners in their templates or their link, they will say put your website. So I started saying, I mean that even though we are doing much work, but if we don't have a website that will be publishing this our work that we are doing, it means many partners will not come in, as I have not have one yet. I pray you be my partner. I have not have one yet. So that is the problem. How will I raise $1,000 to build a website? And I really love it. And most of the link that I always go into is that when I feel, I come to a place and say, put a website. I mean, there is something behind a website which I have not yet seen. What can I do?
Okay, thank you, Shady. Basically, your problem is raising funds, and websites comes. The reason why it is advisable for organizations to have websites is that for websites, you own it yourself. For social media, you don't know when Mark Zuckerberg will wake up and say that I'm shutting down Facebook. Then everything with you and your Facebook is gone. Everything you have on Facebook is gone. Everything you have on Twitter is gone. And websites makes your work authentic, because with that you are able to, social media, you are limited as to the kinds of things you can upload. But for your website, it's yours. That is what you do. You can upgrade it. You can do everything on the website. And for the website, the reason why I don't know why the person was taking $1,000 is because sometimes the domain helps you reach it is according to your reach. All right, there are certain domains that gives you wider reach than other domains. Some domains are for 6 months, 3 months, some are for 1 year, some are for 2 months. That's why you have to pay. So the person taking the $1,000 probably is a bigger.
Let me come. The organization I'm leading is a platform of organization with 29 organizations of persons with disability.
Is it a flagship organization?
It's a platform network.
Okay.
It's a network of organizations of persons with disability in the whole division. We have
that is why you need a website, because if it is a whole division, then you need a website. It helps you reach out, because it helps the people to also know, the website actually even gives you leverage. I still don't, for me, if I am a donor, I'd rather see what you do. But those people are not here and they want to give you money. So your website opens you up to them, to what you are doing, the videos, the audios, your content, your writing, what you are about, the things you are doing. That is why you need a website. Facebook only allows you post videos, audios, and write comments, and you are done. You can't post more than 10 pictures in a day. But your website, you know the amount of pictures and the videos and how you want to post. And the website is more or less like your online pitch deck, your online documentary about the organization. So if you are stifled with you filling and getting to website, some organizations come up with you having social media platforms. So you put all your social media platforms there, but the website still is an opening to your activities as an entity or as a like you are saying, a platform of all social media. And if you want a website, I can help you with that because I have a digital marketing space. So you can link up with me. We can have a discussion on that.
Thank you so
And I'm
much.
sure it will not take you $1,000 to have a website, but sometimes they take it because of website. You know, website is it's not just building a website. There's website optimization, there's website maintenance, there's search engine optimization. Exactly. And your website adds credibility. Thank you very much, Fräulein. It's Frenelin. It adds credibility. Maintenance, website addition. Every day you must maintain your website because sometimes your website can crash. You need to protect it from hackers. Hackers are everywhere. All right. So Shady, that is why you need a website. And if it is a platform of all people in a division, that is even great for you to have a website. Then you have subdivisions under your website or what you do. And I can understand you say you are not exposed to these digitalizations. It's a whole session on its own. So it's one step at a time. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I've shared my email and my contact.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Bea. Thank you so much for the questions. Janet, I want to personally thank you for your patience. It's something that I cannot even thank you enough, right? You've been so patient, answering each question. You're even here to the end. Frenelli says that we should bring you over and over because you're loaded, right? So
Yeah.
you can see the kind of impact you're
Please,
creating.
I second on that too.
Janet, you have done so much and we really appreciate.
One thing about youth is we like to be manipulated a lot. So
Yeah.
people create the nostalgia. I have been to training programs where even though I applied, I was like, this is a waste of my time, but let me just see how it ends. You see that it was just the nostalgia that's created, but it didn't really impact to an extent, not even to 20%. It is the nostalgia. We create the noise around it. We make the noise around it. It has happened to me before.
Yeah.
We make the noise around it. So mine is keep doing what you do. Let's keep doing what we do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it will surprise you to know the day you become known, people now go back to your old activities and they'll start tracing. That is when they'll have to go and start learning from the beginning to where you got to. Then they will start thinking that getting to you is difficult. No, where you are is higher than where they are. That is the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Janet.
No problem.
Thank you. So your friend Isaac, can he give us a word at least? Let's get to know him.
I don't know if he's available. Isaac, yeah, he's here.
Yes, hi Isaac. We just wanted to get a word or two from you.
For sure. So my name is Isaac Aqua. I work with the International Trade Center, and I've been supporting especially tech startups internationalize. Also looking to the same for agri products and like fashion products, focusing on West Africa trade and then also exporting into Europe. But I'm also looking to export like creative products. Been working with in the space of music and film, and slowly want to enter into fashion as well. It was a very interesting discussions, and we went into various areas, but I want to kind of reiterate that things like market research, things like partnerships are so key. And we had examples of large car companies and the Elon Musks and so on, but everybody from your plantain seller on the street to these large billionaires, they only get ahead through partnerships. You can't do anything alone. And whether it's a partnership to fill a knowledge gap, partnership to fill a finance gap, partnership to fill a skills gap, you need to be able and position yourself and be willing to partner with people.
Great. Thank you so much, Isaac. And it's nice to at least get to know you. Thank you, guys. Okay, I think we've exhausted almost everything, and of course we'll keep learning. Bea Shadi will always have I know the challenges because we are in Cameroon, right? So sometimes when you're talking to people about some of those challenges, they might not really understand how bad it is, but persons with disabilities in Cameroon and Africa have really been undermined, and even organizations don't really pay attention to them. People building houses, landlords, nobody really cares, even churches. The whole thing is really, really, really challenging, especially if it can be this hard for people without disabilities, then one more when it comes to persons with disabilities. I can understand. So we'll talk more about how to solve these challenges and, partner, as Janet has said, Isaac and the others. Partnerships are really important. So we'll see how we can partner and look for strategies to reach out to more persons with disabilities, right? Bea, thank you for all your questions. It was interactive, and thanks also to your questions. That's why it was interactive too.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful as well for being part and parcel of this wonderful, I call it tapping of knowledge.
Yeah.
I've tapped much from the presenters. God bless them.
They are great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, we've come to the end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janet. Nice evening. Thank you so much. Please, let's keep in touch. We have a lot.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much for staying to the end.